So the stereotype of girls being clueless about cars has been around since basically the car was invented. There shouldn't be a reason for girls to have to turn to guys to ask for help when a problem arises. Today we're going to break that stereotype and show you that all girls and everyone should be able to know how to change a tire. So changing a tire is an essential skill to have, because if you ever run into that issue, the cost of roadside assistance and headaches along with it is definitely something that you'd want to avoid. First, we're going to go through a few simple steps on how to remove the tire. So first off, you want to make sure that you pick a location. If you're driving down a busy highway like this, you don't want to pull over to the side of the road and risk yourself from getting injured from oncoming traffic. So definitely pick a good location that is far enough off the road so you can avoid any interaction with motorized vehicles. Next, you want to get out your tools from your trunk. The two main tools that you need are a car jack and a lug nut wrench, shown here. Car jack's on the left and lug nut wrench is on the right. Next, you need to find your spare tire. So most of the tires are going to be in your trunk, located here, and if you lift up, there's your tire. Your car jack may also be in another compartment inside of your trunk. If you can't find him, you can look in your car manual. Next, you want to loosen your lug nuts. This should be done in a star formation. Basically start at one end of the lug nut and go up into a star. Just loosen them enough, don't remove them completely. Next, you're going to jack up your car. You want to make sure that your car jack is sitting on the frame of your car, not on the plastic part, so that you don't damage any part of your car. And then you're going to use a simple tool just to wind the car and jack it up. Once it's jacked, the tire should be completely off of the ground, and you could spin it, and that's how you know that there's no interaction with the ground, that when you do go to remove it, that'll come off easily. Next, you want to pull the tire off. Next, you want to remove all the lug nuts and then pull the tire off. Make sure you remove the lug nuts in a star formation also, and keep them somewhere close by because you don't want to lose them. That would be bad. Then you want to pull the tire off. This could be a little difficult, but if you just wiggle it and kind of wrap around it may be dirty. Just pull it off, and once it's off, we're going to turn to Allison, and she's going to show you how to put the tire back on.
Now that Crystal has taught you guys how to safely remove the tire, I'm going to talk to you about how to safely put it back on. First, what you want to do is get your spare tire and line up the holes in your tire with the bolts on the car. You want to put the spare tire on, but you want to make sure you don't force anything, wiggle it around, but be a little bit dainty with it because you don't want to bend things on the inside of your car. And then after you do that, you want to remove the jack stand so your car is safely on the ground. Once your car's on the ground, you can tighten up the lug nuts just kind of like how you remove them. The easiest way is to stand on them, jump, and tighten them, because it's really important to have your car or have your wheel on as tight as you can, because you don't want your wheel to fall off when you're driving, obviously. Oh, I'm not done. Then after you've tightened all of the lug nuts, you want to do that in a star formation, and then remove the jack from under the car and put all of your tools away. You're going to check your tire pressure to make sure it's high enough, because if your spare has been sitting in your trunk or something like that, it's probably not up to par with how inflated it needs to be. So then drive to your nearest gas station and fix that as soon as you can. Now, the other thing is, we just addressed how to change a tire. Now, what happens if your tire is actually flat? If your tire is flat, you're going to use the donut that's in the back of the car. The donut is a smaller tire, so you don't want to drive on it long distances. So in case of emergency of a totally flat tire, first thing you want to do is ease off the accelerator and safely pull aside. You don't want to go too fast if your tire is already flat, and you're going to put the donut in and try to get to a mechanic as soon as possible, to get everything fixed. You don't want to hit up to highway speeds on the donut because it's not as reliable as a regular wheel, and it's smaller, so obviously it can still do some damage to your car. I don't know what else I want to say. And so yeah, that's what you gotta do for a spare tire. In conclusion, that's how you put a spare tire on your car and change it. You just need to remember that you want to do it as safely as you can. You are on a road with a bunch of other cars, so in the occurrence of having to change your tire, don't do it where you can get hurt. The end.